In a world filled with caped crusaders, alien demigods, and magical powerhouses, Deadman remains one of DC Comics' most unique and enduring supernatural figures. A ghost cursed with awareness and mission, Deadman, real name Boston Brand, isn't a god or a demon. He's a restless spirit, an acrobat turned Avenger, whose death became the start of his life's true purpose. His stories weave mystery, morality, and mysticism, earning him a cult following that's lasted for decades. Deadman first appeared in Strange Adventures number 205, October 1967, created by writer Arnold Drake and artist Carmine Infantino, with legendary artist Neil Adams soon taking over and cementing the character's visual and narrative style. Boston Brand was a famous trapeze artist known for his death-defying stunts and crimson costume, but one fateful night, during a performance with the Hill Brothers Circus, he was assassinated, shot midair by a mysterious figure later known only as the Hook. Instead of passing on, Boston's soul was caught between life and death. The Hindu goddess Ramakrishna, guardian of the mystical realm of Nanda Parbat, granted him a second chance, not to live, but to walk the earth as a ghostly force for good. Invisible, intangible, and incapable of physical interaction, Deadman was given the power to possess the living, jumping into their bodies to influence the material world and solve crimes, including, ultimately, his own murder. This unique ability made Deadman more than a spectral observer. He became an ethereal detective, unraveling mysteries and influencing fate by taking over the minds of the living. His stories often involved crime, existential questions, and the spiritual balance between good and evil. As a character, Boston Brand is sarcastic, impatient, and gruff, but also deeply haunted, constantly seeking redemption for a life he admits was once selfish and shallow. Deadman's earliest stories in Strange Adventures leaned heavily into noir and supernatural mystery, with Neil Adams' artwork adding dynamic motion and moody realism to the eerie, otherworldly plots. Over time, Deadman became a staple of DC's supernatural corner, frequently interacting with characters like Zatanna, the Spectre, Phantom Stranger, and later members of Justice League Dark. Throughout the 1980s and 1990s, Deadman's mythology expanded. He took on missions not only tied to his own death, but to the broader cosmic balance. His connection to Ramakrishna and the temple of Nanda Parbat became deeper, occasionally intersecting with characters like the Question and Batman, especially in metaphysical tales involving Ra's al Ghul and other mystic threats. In the landmark Brightest Day storyline, 2010 to 2011, Deadman plays a central role. After being temporarily resurrected by the White Lantern, he becomes a conduit for life itself, tasked with understanding the meaning of existence and balancing life and death. His relationship with Dove, Dawn Granger, during this period adds an emotional layer to his typically lonely journey. Ultimately, when he gives up the chance to truly live again for the greater good, it reinforces his growth from a self-serving man to a selfless guardian spirit. Deadman has also been a recurring member of Justice League Dark, a team comprised of DC's magical and occult heroes. His ghostly powers, possession, flight, and invisibility make him invaluable in dealing with spiritual and magical threats. Unlike other ghost characters in fiction, Deadman remains deeply human, humorous, angry, confused, and often sad. That humanity grounds the metaphysical weirdness of his adventures. Outside of comics, Deadman has appeared in animated series like Justice League Unlimited, Batman, the Brave and the Bold, and Justice League Dark, as well as DC video games and motion comics. His tragic heroism and ghostly motif make him a visually and thematically compelling presence in any medium. What sets Deadman apart in the DC universe is the nature of his power and his burden. He's not out for revenge, at least not anymore. He's out to understand what it means to do good when you no longer have a physical stake in the world. His stories are about loss, identity, and spiritual reckoning, offering a uniquely philosophical take on superhero storytelling. Deadman is not a household name like Batman or Superman, but he's an indispensable part of DC's mythological and mystical backbone, a soul in search of peace, a ghost in pursuit of justice, and a man who finally found purpose only after death. Deadman reminds us that sometimes our legacy begins when everything else ends.